Yep. Well, that's what I call myself, I suppose, with my wife Kylie. Farming, I say Pittsworth, but we're sort of the Bonjane, Irongate area. That's mainly where we're at. Traditionally known as a fairly safe, reliable place to farm. At the moment, I don't know what to think of it, to be honest, but anyway. This is our goal. No till, controlled traffic, all that sort of jazz. 100% summer crop and doing about 1/3 winter crop. That's our rotation. I wish a lot more of these photos were more recent. It's just the weather, it's the only reason they're not more recent photos. So we've taken on a few different ideas, but that's a mung bean crop in barley stubble that's been harvested with a stripper front, a shell-borne stripper. One idea we've taken on is chaff decks. So on the rear of the machine, so anything that comes off your sieves ends up in your wheel tracks. So how that all started, did a trip to Western Australia with a couple of mates, went to a farmer's place at Tamman over in Western Australia. I asked him, do they work? He said yes. That's all I needed to hear. Come home. When I ordered that harvester, I ordered the chaff decks, we chucked them on. The main reason I did it at the time, since we're cropping so hard, you always have a little bit of grain loss from it. Doesn't matter what brand of harvester you have, you always get a little bit of grain loss. So if I could control what come off our sieves and put in our wheel tracks, happy days. You know, we'll try on crops like sunflowers and a few things like that. You know, and sunflowers are a bit of a known one for throwing a little bit of grain at the back. But obviously we're getting other results now too, which is really good. So our main problem is feathertop rosegrass. Obviously, we don't have big numbers, nothing compared to what you guys up here are facing at this stage. It's coming though, it's going to get worse. Milk thistle, getting hard to kill. And then Johnson grass. We've got country that just previous growers, water flowing in, a lot of hobby farmers upstream, just breed it up. So just big numbers of Johnson grass. So that's the machine, the chaff deck's on the back of the machine. So very simple. Depending on your brand of harvester, it depends on how easy they are to put on. The Clars was quite easy, to be honest. I think John Deere is one of the harder ones, just the way they are. Yeah, I'm going too quick to say so. So yeah, we changed the chopper as well, just to sort of get a better spread as well on the back of the harvester. So yeah, so that's a wheel track. So this is a photo taken a couple of years ago. We had pretty good barley, and that's half of what came off our sieves is in that wheel track. So it's 6 inches wide, maybe 8 inches wide, but it's only an inch and a half thick maybe. It does reduce a lot of dust too, actually. So since you're not blowing it up into the air, you're leaving it on the ground, and it just sort of you have a lot less dust. So for chickpeas and things like that, not that we grow chickpeas, but it just does reduce a lot of dust. So when you blow the harvester down at the end of the day, it's far cleaner. There's just another photo of the same thing. So yeah, this is pretty well the same spot as where those last couple of photos are taken. We would have planted mung beans back into this country. Did not have the rain. We did some of our country, but not all of it. There we go. So you can see the wheel tracks there, the green lines. So you can hear me.
Barley stubble after a shell-borne stripper. And in our wheel tracks is barley.
I don't know if anyone can hear that, but
from our EMAR chaff decks. You can see the results. There's our wheel tracks. Glue the stubble.
So you can see the odd flea bane and that off to the side. But so if we can put a bigger nozzle on our sprayer or whatever, like anyone can really, but and spray the wheel tracks with a heavier rate of chemical if we wanted to. We've done that a couple of times, but not that often. A lot of those weeds were pretty easy to kill. It's only barley, right? So that's our next problem, is our stubble. That was since we didn't get the mung beans in, you can see the stubble there's not too many planters to get through that. So, but the moisture was pretty good. This is back at my home place. We got a little bit of irrigation country when we got the water. So that's a wheel track. We had canary growing in that field over the winter, and then I planted some 60-inch sorghum in there just to, you know, had a little bit of rain, so we thought, bugger it, we'll just go and plant it. It wasn't the best of strikes and a bit rough, but it was okay. We harvested the sorghum, and then we had a little bit of rain. I think that was on 7 mil of rain off memory. You can see the wheel tracks come up like that, whereas there's hardly any other weeds anywhere else. I think in that situation we just, not even half a litre of Roundup, we just put a bigger nozzle on the wheel tracks and we just sprayed that field, so we used hardly any Roundup in that field. And, you know, on the wheel track it would have been, you know, 1.5 litres at least of Roundup or more. So, we're going to get nervous here. So that's another wheel track. Can't stop shaking. Yeah, so another wheel track, canary, just the year before. Yeah, I maybe should have used the weed seeker there or something like that, but anyway, it got away on me, worrying about other jobs. You know, so same sort of deal. This is last season actually, this sorghum just gone. So we had 30-inch sorghum rows there, and then we planted 60-inch the summer just gone. You can kind of see the, I'll use my pointer. Have you use that? Oh yeah, so you can see a row there and a row there, and that's our wheel track. So that's Johnson grass. Majority of that's Johnson grass. So that was after a shower rain. So that's pretty well the same field, different area. Crop's a little bit more advanced. I think we're just spraying for just broadleaf weeds there, and you know, see the wheel tracks are as thick as. So that's sort of what we're dealing with Johnson grass. There's the odd, you know, there's still Johnson grass further out, but the wheel tracks are pretty bad. This is shielded spraying.
So we're shielded spraying today.
So yeah, the shielded spraying, you can see the wheel tracks are quite thick.
Yeah, wheel tracks. Johnson grass growing.
Hope I don't swear on this one.
Growing too many other places.
You'll be right. I don't think I do. Yeah, so that's sort of what we're doing. Yeah, the stripper. Yeah, it's pretty cool, eh? It's not going to get any use this winter, and it had no use last winter, unfortunately. It's not from a lack of trying, but the main reason we're just really trying to push stubble cover. Like Anthony Lee said earlier about just wheat stubble cover and all that, it is gold, dead set. And that's what we're trying to do, is just try and get as much cover as possible all the time. And that's why I talked to a farmer down south one time, he was using it in his rice, then went into wheat, and he just loves it. And so it was just a no-brainer when I got up, you know, had to order one. So harvest efficiency is a byproduct of it all, if you ask me. The stubble is the main reason we did it. You know, when we double crop of mung beans back into our stubble, I was hoping, you know, the mung beans yield a bit better, that'd pay for the front, happy days. So we were in barley doing, you know, sort of 5 to the hectare, tonne to the hectare. We're easy 2 to 3 k an hour faster harvesting, using 50% horsepower, and you know, that's hardly any fuel. We're doing 60 tonne an hour, no grain loss out the sieves or the rotors. We could have pushed so much harder, but nothing would have kept up. The chase bins wouldn't have, the trucks wouldn't have. It was no point in going harder. Yeah, and a lot less maintenance on the harvester itself. There's just, you're not stretching the guts out of it all the time, trying to jam all the straw through it. Even though the claws are made for high capacity stuff, it is still pretty good on that front. So yeah, we're planting mung beans back in. So you know, you're dealing with a lot more stubble, so you know, there's potential more fires and all that sort of stuff too. Probably the coolest part about it, the amount of spider webs you have on your planter, or at the end of the day, you've got to blow your planter down. It is just covered in straw and spider webs. It's just, yeah, it is. I do, and yeah, it is pretty cool. Yeah, I don't like blowing things down, but yeah, it is cool. So you know, it's me just sort of walking around looking for stuff. So it gives you some idea of the height. This is a couple of years ago now. but that was planted on about 16 mil of rain. Yeah, it's not the best of crops. It could have been far better if we had more rain during the growing season, but you know, we had a chop, and if it wasn't for the stubble, we wouldn't have got that in. It wouldn't have been any good. So, you know, we didn't make a lot out of that one or whatever. It's more of an exercise, but it just sort of shows what you could have got. We tried safflower a couple of years ago. I don't know if I'll be doing that one again, but anyway. We set up a time machine to get through the stubble, and that's sort of the result. There's a few haystacks, you know, further up the picture there. You know, you can't really see them, but the cover in that photo there is just unbelievable. It was really good. That's our little mung beans trying to make their way out of the ground. So in the US, they're doing a lot of cover cropping now. I reckon it's really a great idea what they're trying to do. Talked to a few different guys over there, farmers and that, and you know, they got a lot to learn on it all too, and so do we. But so that's the US one on there on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side's us. The difference is we made money out of the barley stubble. We harvested the barley, we made money off the barley, get the mung beans back in, happy days. So, you know, we're at the US, they sprayed it out with a gut full of Roundup, you know, and then they're trying to plant soybeans back into it. So, you know, they get more rain than us, I think. So I thought it was a pretty good effort on our behalf. So yeah, that's sort of, when they're cracking along, not too bad. So a bit more rain would have helped that year too, but anyway, that's just how it is. Still worth the effort. And then the best part is harvest time. So mung beans, they don't leave a lot of stubble cover and all that sort of thing. After you harvest them, leave everything bare. You know, even, you know, you harvest your barley with a normal front, well, there's not a lot of stubble left after you do the mung beans. So doing it this way, a lot of it falls over, as you can kind of see in the bottom of the picture. And the rest just goes through the harvester. So that's just our first pass.
Our shell-born barley stubble.
Just doesn't break down as quick and things like that, and it just falls over. You know, and even when you're harvesting your mung beans, a lot of the straw will fall over. You know, a lot of it won't get cut because it's so rotten. It just pushes, you know. So mind you, if you've got a really low mung beans, it makes it a little bit harder because you're trying to really hit the deck with your front. But so this photo was taken this time last year. So we had the barley, then the mung beans, then we planted sorghum back into that country for the following summer. But we've still got the stubble on the ground. So yeah. We don't mind harvesting at high moisture, if you're wondering, on that bit of greenery. There's a reason why we run in class, we're pretty impatient. Yeah. That block there, we had to change strips around, so that's why some of it's a bit greener, but that's probably why we're not going as quick as what we should. She's pretty green, so anyway. They used to be the days. Yeah, questions I suppose, I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty well lit.